So I am filming on my phone right now for a reason, because usually I would film on one of these two cameras. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about using both of these as vlog cameras or like vacation trip cameras. Because now that we did our Disney trip with this Sony Zv1 instead of my usual G7X, I wanted to compare. So I haven't fully watched through all of our video footage yet from this camera. However, I was not super happy because of the stabilization. And I knew that that could have been an issue because I had watched other videos before. But I was like, well, some of these people didn't know to turn on the stabilization, so I thought I'll be fine. The main issue is that there are two levels of stabilization on the Sony Zv1. And if you turn on the first one, it just does normal stabilization. If you turn on the active one, it crops in even more. This camera is already more cropped in than the Canon G7X just to start with. So if you're trying to get footage of like yourself and other people in with you, which my husband and I do on our trips so that it looks like we were there, this is a lot harder to do if you have it. So I never turned it on that second stabilization mode, which might have made a big difference. A lot of times my husband was doing the filming while I was taking photos everywhere, and he does not know settings for stuff. Like, he does not know how to use my cameras other than the basic, like turn them on and like take a photo or take a video. So I was not going to be like, hey, whenever you take like these kind of shots, go ahead and switch this. No, I'm not going to ask him to do that. Maybe in the future, but honestly, that's where I found that I think this would be better just for our vacations in the future. It's also a little bit smaller and more compact than the Sony. I do have a case on it right now. Like, one of my favorite things is that I do love the Sony color and everything, but I love that the screen is protected, like it flips in. I love that like I can flip it in to protect it, whereas this I cannot, but I do have a screen protector on this one. The other thing is, like, this is a little more challenging when you want to get it out and turn it on and take a video. Like, if I wanted to do one of us, then I have to do this. Or if I wanted to like turn it in, like that, just, it does take a little more time than just if I were to want to start up my G7X, I literally just like press the button and it's good to go. And I would just flip it up and it's good to go. I also, and this is the same issue I had with my A7C when I had it, Sony is really slow to start up, like really slow to start up. So a lot of times we'd go to start our videos on this and we'd miss things because it's not ready to start. And like, we'd be sitting there going, is it recording? Yes, no, I pressed record. Nope, it wasn't ready yet. And like, that was frustrating too. So like, between just like the more like finagling with the screen and stuff, the stabilization, the batteries seemed to last pretty well, so that was fine. Like, I still think the Sony video quality is great. That's why I got this. And I will probably still use this to film all of my like sitting YouTube videos like I would right now if I wasn't talking about it. It's just because that's when I've noticed the biggest difference. Like, this one, the focus is my biggest complaint about it. But to the point that I would rather have some focus issues than have it be completely shaky footage, although I guess that kind of gives it a nostalgic look, but that was not my goal. And like I said, I haven't put together all those videos yet, but I did just last night put together like our August vlog video, which is just like my husband and I going through all our birthday celebrations with family and stuff. And it was really shaky. Like, there were times where it wasn't as bad, but other times I was like, oh. So that just was frustrating. I still love this for like the product videos, like when I have to hold things up to it, it does a phenomenal job of regular video, like when it's on a tripod. I just don't think handheld, this is the right one for me. But that's like why I said this will be a great one for filming my YouTube videos on, because I feel like this does a great job of focusing. Whereas this one, even when I would do sitting videos, sometimes it would struggle and I'm like, what the heck? I know that's a known issue with this camera, but my husband has my original G7X still that he uses sometimes. Although he doesn't really know what he's doing with it. I love him, but he just doesn't always know because he's trying to do more content for his own pages. And I still think the original G7X actually does a better job of focusing and everything than this camera. This one just has more manual features, which is why I wanted it. But I also got this originally so that we had a backup if we take our G7X on vacation and something happens, like I'm not just out of a camera, especially with how popular these are. So I bought this like over like maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, just so that we would have a backup, because I realized how much I love taking our vacation videos. Like, it's not even for the purpose of using it to like show other people. It's just so that we have vacation videos, which we love to watch back and go like, oh, I forgot all about that. Like, our entire honeymoon, I mostly forgot to take photos, which is insane for me. We took all videos, which is awesome. So we have our whole honeymoon on video of like everything we did at Disney that year. And I have a few phone photos from that trip. I did take my Canon at the time RP with me, but because it was so rainy and stormy because we got hit by a tropical storm when we were there, I did never want to take it out. So we pretty much relied on my phone for a few photos here and there that we really didn't get, and then this. So I'm still very thankful that we did that for that trip. And that's where I was like, you know, we need to have a backup. We need to have something so that we can always have these photos or these videos of our trip. I know these cameras are really popular for photos right now, especially with like the flash. I mean, I think it's fine for that. I just don't really do that. I don't do flash photography. Like, that's not my style. We tried it a few times in Epcot with, obviously, since I had this camera, we didn't do it with this because there's no flash on this. We tried it with my Fuji X106. And every time I did it, it was like out of focus. And I was like, that really didn't help me at all. So, but yeah, I pretty much, I used, like I'll say in my other video, I'll talk about all the cameras I used, but like, this is solely for video for us. Like both of these are. I just didn't take this one on this trip. But now I'm thinking this is like the more like vlogging, like walking around stabilized kind of footage. And this is more my sit down YouTube footage. So that's my thoughts. If anybody's been thinking about these two cameras, yeah, that's mainly the issue, is like this one's more cropped in and shaky even with stabilization on. And this one just struggles with focus. That's really the issues. So